Okay, I'm standing here next to Gordon Cheung. He's a very innovative painter and makes amazing pieces. Hi Gordon, how are you today?
Hi,
yeah?
very well thanks.
Yeah? Can you tell us a little bit where we're at right now and where you're from originally?
We're in Victoria in London, in my studio. That's above the gallery, a minute away from the station.
Yeah.
So right in the middle of London.
Perfect location, right? Very central location, close to all the good things.
Well, I'm enjoying it.
That London has to offer.
Yeah.
So I saw your pieces at Art Basel and I was really surprised by it, on one hand because I like them a lot, secondly because I think they're very innovative. Can you tell us the name of the piece you're standing in front of right now?
This is called Minotaur 11, and it's of a painting of a bull rider, a rodeo, and it's in this sort of psychedelic landscape made up of all sorts of different things. I guess notably with the background of the stock listings of the Financial Times.
Yeah, and I saw that also at Art Basel, but I also see that here that you use that in a lot of your paintings.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit why you're doing that and since when did you integrate that in your artworks?
It started in 1994 at art school, and I was looking for a material that I felt could be a symbol of our modern landscape.
Yeah.
So back then was the beginning of all this talk about globalization, and also of the beginning of the internet and mobile phone technology becoming available. It was a digital and communications revolution,
yeah.
And I wanted to somehow find a material that can capture that. And for me, the stock market listings was a way of having that as a symbol of that new virtual landscape in which we all exist.
Which is, I think, is very, very good to know, because indeed it makes a very big difference, not only in the world, but also the way how it's how your inspiration is reflected in your paintings. Because if we go more over to one of your other paintings here, we see the same background.
Yeah.
And I know also later on we will show the viewers more of the laser technology you use. Which was also not possible, probably 10-15 years ago in this way.
Probably not.
So you're a very innovative painter. Can you tell us a little bit about this piece here, what I just showed?
This is a kind of retranslation of Chardon's hair with onions, still life. And I was interested in a body of work. I was making a body of work to do with trophies, and particularly animal trophies. And for me, it's obviously a symbol of nature and our relationship to it. And so it plays on the idea of a still life and the idea of what exactly is still alive. And so trophy hunting is a kind of symbol for me of this stock market world as well, the hunt for power, prestige and status.
Yeah, which is never ending, right?
Yeah, never ending, and I felt was sort of very, I suppose, relevant in terms of also our relationship to nature, or our current relationship to nature as well, or rather our detachment to it.
Yeah.
Even though we are inherently always completely connected to it, yet the type of world in which we live in the cities in particular, is one in which sometimes nature becomes like a secondary experience.
Yeah. Well, in former times, I think you make the connection very accurate. Men had to hunt for their animals, for their food, and right now they're hunting for that extra, lift up in the market and sell more bonds or stocks or anything.
Well, absolutely,
but it's not far away, right? And it all has to do, if you see here, I think this is another trophy painting from you. It all has to do also with aspiration, but of course we have capitalism, but what would we do without having any dreams and any opportunity to make money? Which would also be very boring, right? And this is another animal trophy. Can you tell me about this one?
Well, I made a whole series of these sorts of animal trophy hairs, and I guess you know, each one will represent different things for different cultures. A ram, for example, can, for say someone with a Jewish background, might be to do with Abraham's ram, so the sacrifice of the ram, and so on. So it has all these sorts of multiple sort of meanings. For me, it's kind of more to do with the convergence or the conflict between ecology and economics, and yeah, and going back to this idea of, you know, hunting exactly for survival in former times, but now it's a hunt for, you know, more sort of intangible sort of ideas in some ways, you know, the power, the prestige and the status. And you can actually even go on touristic hunts in which, you know, you're taken by a guide to the prey, and then you take the final shot, and then you can go home with the head.
And then show it to the woman, right?
Yeah. Well,
is it good for the male hormones or the female hormones?
I guess there's something primordial about it and stuff. But in terms of, like, you know, as a mythological sign as well of nature, that's one of the most sort of potent symbols, if you like, that I'm interested in regards to this body of work. So I make them into almost like these psychedelic sort of apparitions. They're almost like heat-sensitive sort of images. And so they're kind of like an in-between life and death sort of moment.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What I like a lot, and I hope I can picture it a little bit with this camera, is that you see a lot of depth in your paintings. The paint is really on top of it, and I could really say, if I can talk in centimeters, some of the paint is sticking out at least 1.5 centimeters, you know, as a maximum.
Yeah.
And if I see here, these are all your colors here.
Yeah.
So what type of paint do you use for this?
I'm using acrylics, and I mix it with a heavier acrylic gel. And then I'll have, these are the thick ones, and then I'll have pots of liquid, like sort of paint as well, so you can see.
Oh yeah, because I was wondering how otherwise can you make that, because that is in itself a technology. So Gordon, can you tell me, we will go to this other painting too, can you tell me where do you sell your paintings, and for about, you know, around which prices do they go for?
Well, I sell my work through a number of galleries. There's Alan Christer in London, and Jack Shainman in New York, Una Stanova in Rome, and Other Gallery in China.
Wow, so you're very international, and I can imagine, because anybody who likes art or is just starting to appreciate art, if you're in the world we're living right now, you have to agree with me, then this is a very temporary, or contemporary I should say, approach to art, and it says a lot about the world we live in right now.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, that's how I see it, and that's how it got my attention. At the same time, it's aesthetically gorgeous. It can fit in any interior, if you have a classic interior or a modern interior. And this is very beautiful too. It looks very in a mystical landscape here. So, Gordon, can you bring us maybe to your laser machine and show us the work, what you're making there?
So this is a work in progress at the moment, and this is a laser cutter. And what I do, and this image is from originally from Gustav Dorés, Moses breaking the tablets of law. Yeah. And I've kind of pixelated it and converted it into a black and white image, manipulated it on Photoshop, and then it gets transferred into the machine, and it literally vaporizes the surface. So it's like a very sophisticated magnifying glass in a printer, you know, and it's kind of burning the surface away. So you'll end up with, in that case, the image that's in there at the moment ends up being this.
Oh, that's stunning. And you leave it like this? Are you going to color it?
Yes,
or?
No, this is
beautiful,
this is
right?
How it is, yeah.
So Gordon, can you explain to the viewers a little bit more about this these amazing artworks, I should say, that we see here.
Well, these are laser pyrographic works made in the same machine at the back that you saw.
Yeah.
But these images are based on or warped images of Albert Durer's Apocalypse series.
Yeah.
So when I made these 2 years ago, it was at the height of the credit crisis.
Yeah.
And it was for me a way of converging a classical idea of the aim with a modern day version.
Yeah. Wow, that's just very nice, because it's a lot of detail in those. How would you call it? I cannot call it paintings. What is the?
I call them laser pyrographics. Pyrography is fire writing.
Yeah.
And, but I use laser to fire write with, if you like.
Wow.
So the idea being it's the act of destruction creates the image of destruction.
Yeah. Wow. It is very nice. And you know what? It's amazing how much also in depth you see because of the laser technology here.
So the originals are woodcuts. So in a way I've kind of turned them back into woodcuts.
Oh, okay. I can see that. So we're going back to the basics.
Well,
we all have to go back to the basics, right? Oh, okay. So Gordon, tell me, I see you have this new show in London coming up in the Anna Gristea Gallery. Where is the Anna Gristea Gallery located?
It's 34 Cork Street in London, Mayfair.
Yeah, okay.
Just behind the Royal Academy.
Oh, that's a good location.
Yeah, I have a show called The Light That Burns Twice as Bright, which is a quote from a film, the cult film Blade Runner by Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
And it's about an android or a robot that looks to extend its life but fails to, and the creator says to him, "But you know, you're the light that burns twice as bright," because the film is in some ways about the way how he, even though he's a robot, he's kind of lived brighter than most people, despite the shortness of his life.
Okay, that's a very nice title, and I wish everybody would go to the ellengristea.com website and can see your work, and hopefully they like it as much as I do, and if they don't, they at least can see the amazing quality and the innovation that is expressed by your work, and puts it in the current time where we live right now. Okay, thank you so much, Gordon.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure meeting you.